Hello everybody, today's tutorial is going to be on this purple dramatic smoky eye. It contains a sponsored ad from Sephora collection, so if you want to check out all of the other beauty uncomplicated makeup looks, be sure to check out their Instagram. I will link it down below, and if you want to see how I did this look, then please just keep on watching. So I've already primed my eyes using a concealer, and I've also put a base layer on my face just to have a really beautiful matte mauve shade. I'm just going to use a fluffy blending brush and apply this into the crease. I already did the first eye because I wasn't entirely sure of what I was going to be doing, but anyway, let's continue. Just adding more product into the crease as we go, making it nice and deep, placing most of the product in the outer corner right here, and then just blending it into the inner corner area of the eyeball, and just really nicely building up that product, making sure that it's nice and deep in the crease. I'm going to take a clean blending brush and just make sure that all of the edges are nice and soft, harsh, and just blend them out a little bit, make it all fluffy and blended. Then taking that same shadow on a small fluffy brush, I'm just going to place that all along the lower lash line. Then I'm going to go ahead and use the colorful eyeshadow in the shade Black Lace 304. It's a really nice deep matte black shade. I'm going to be taking a small angle brush, and we're going to be making this really intense kind of faux black liner. I like using an eyeshadow for this because it gives it a little bit of a softer look. We can blend it out, make it really nice and soft and smoky, but you still have that defined liner look to the eyes. So I'm going to be starting at the base of the lash line and creating the line, kind of going a little bit lower because we're going to be dragging this onto the lower lash line as well. But I'm just going to build it up and kind of drag the eyeshadow and create the liner line. And then I'm also just dragging the excess product along the lash line. And by dragging, I actually mean dragging. And I find that when you drag it, it kind of helps to give it a little bit of a lighter look. It's less intense. Then I just take a clean brush along the bottom of the liner line, and I'll just kind of drag it along until the bottom of the liner is nice and straight. I love the look of a nice clean liner line, and it's easy to fix any mistakes that you might have made in the liner earlier. So then taking the same black eyeshadow, we're just going to connect it to the upper liner and just drag it along the lower lash line to about halfway. And it kind of makes it look like it's all just one liner line. Then we're going to go back in with that lighter shade on the small fluffy brush and just use that to blend out the lower lash line. And once there's been a little bit of black placed onto it from the lower lash line, I'm just going to take that right into the crease. And just because there's been a little bit of black added to it, it'll deepen it up purpley. It is purple. We're just going to place this shadow onto the lid where none of the eyeliner is, kind of starting at the crease area and just dragging it along the lid, adding a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of a pop of color, and then just taking whatever highlighter you used on your face. I'm using my Anastasia highlighters here. I'm just going to mix those and use those as my inner corner and also my brow highlight. I like to use the same highlighter that I use on my face because it just kind of, I don't know, makes it easier. You don't need an extra eyeshadow, and you can just, you know, use whatever you're using. Then for mascara, I'm going to take my Tarte Tartist mascara and apply tons and tons of coats to the upper and lower lashes, really focusing the product on the outer half of the eyelashes and applying as many coats as you need to make it really, really thick. So I applied some individual lashes just to finish up the eyes. I love this like dark, smoky, pretty purple eye look. So I'm just taking my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I'm going to fix up this under eye area. I'm going to go back in with that lighter Safari shadow in the small smudger brush, and I'm just going to retake that along the lower lash line just because I buffed a little bit of it away when I did the concealer there, so I'm just going to drag it along there. I'm going to set all this concealer in with powder. I'm using the Makeup Forever HD powder, and I'm just going to place that on all the spots where we place the concealer. So as always, with a very deep smoky look, I want to make sure that my face is nice and sculpted. I'm taking my Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder in the shade medium and just using this to chisel out my cheekbones, around my nose, underneath my lip, and also a bit on my jawline. Basically everywhere that I want to make me look shadowed and sculpted. So for bronzer, I'm going to take my Urban Decay Beached Bronzer in the shade Browns and just use this to add a little bit more. For highlighter, I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighters that I have depotted into my Z palette oh so conveniently. I'm going to be placing those highlighters onto the cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, and also on my Cupid's bow. Just to add a little bit more color to my face, I'm going to take my Bobbi Brown Apricot blush and just use this to add just a really light pink flush to my cheeks. Put a little bit of color back into them. And then for the lips, I'm using this Sephora Rouge Balm. I don't actually know what color it is. It has a bunch of numbers on the bottom. I will link it down below. It smells delicious and fruity. It smells like a fruit roll-up. I really love that scent. Anyway, it's a really nice, just nude balm, and I'm going to be applying this onto